guys, it is BS Scribbler, and I am so sorry that it has been so long since I posted a video. I really did have several instances in which I meant to post another video, but I just kept getting bored or distracted or uninspired or whatever you will have. There's literally like 6 drafts in this app I'm using right now. So I am so sorry, but I'm back. And due to some recent life changes, I should be able to post more often. Should being the key word. It's not the point, but I also have an Instagram. I'm not super active on there, or at least I wasn't before. I'm trying to be now. Post more on there. So I guess that's a good backup just in case. But there has been so many things that have changed in my life since that last video. For one thing, I got a kitty cat. She's very cute, very fluffy, very sassy. Well, she's not super fluffy, but I love her, and she's ridiculous. So that's great. I have also come to a couple more conclusions about myself, specifically about my ASD, but we'll talk about that in a moment. And overall, things were getting worse for a while, but they've actually started to look up a little bit. Things are getting a little bit better. So, yeah. Where was I? I suppose I'll talk about the art first a little bit, and then I'll probably just sporadically come back and forth with the art and talking about it as the video goes on and there's something I want to say. So, these characters are Virgil and Deceit from Virgil or Anxiety and Deceit from the Thomas Sanders videos Sides. Yeah. I just am very happy with how this piece came out. It is a obvious piece of fan art, and I have never actually drawn a proper piece of fan art before. I normally get partway through like semi-line art and then hate it. And this isn't perfect by any means, but I'm pretty happy with how it came out, really. Like, I'm very proud of this. I wouldn't be ashamed if if Thomas Sanders or someone else out there saw it. I'm very proud of it. So that's great. Basically, I decided to pull into the idea of, I guess, what could have been a very, very good friendship, or what I like to think could have been a very good friendship before, and what I hope could still yet become a good friendship again in the videos, because I feel like out of all of them, out of Virgil and the rest of the light sides, and the light sides because he's not technically one, that there's always been something off. They still don't really respect his opinion. They still seem to overshadow him and each other, really. But I feel like with the dark sides, it could have been a lot better because they're not technically bad guys. Remus is just annoying, really. That's what intrusive thoughts are. Slightly disturbing, but they're more irritating than anything else. Deceit is useful. Sometimes you do need to lie, whether it be to protect yourself or to get yourself out of a bad situation, to avoid getting in a bad situation in the first place, or even a simple little white lie, like forgetting someone's birthday and then surprising them later on. Sometimes it's just, it's not bad, or it can even be good to lie. It's something that helps you, and obviously anxiety or fear is what keeps you alive, as they've said. It's what keeps you moving and going and being active in your life and stuff. So I feel like as the 3 misunderstood people, and then whatever other dark or light sides there might be, these 3, Remus, Virgil, and Deceit, I wish we could see more on that, because I don't know. I feel like there could be a good thing there. Either way, the main thought, as we're coming up to this part, was basically like Deceit and Remus seem to, well, Deceit obviously has the like snake features, right? But Remus also seems to have like an animal thing because he's got the skunk and his weird obsession with deodorant. But like the streak of white in his hair and stuff. And his whole thing with garbage is a whole thing on its own, right? So I've seen some people, it's not my idea by any means, talk about and draw stuff of Virgil having like spider traits. So like the multiple eyes and stuff like that. And the fangs. And like spider legs will sometimes come out of his back. Sometimes like the that one scene from that one Marvel movie with Spider-Man and those, yeah, that scene. But for me, I just focused on the eyes because I thought it'd be fun. And I also decided that maybe Remus and Virgil have a trait like Deceit has, where Deceit has the snake scales, right? So Virgil has those web patterns on his under eye and along his neck, and probably other places on his body, much like Deceit probably has them in other places on his body as well. I'm not sure what Remus would have. I haven't thought about it. Probably pattern of some kind because of the streaks of white. But I'm not sure. I haven't really thought about it that much. And so I wanted to draw Virgil having that. And I thought I think it turned out very well. I'm very proud of how the scales and the webbing turned out looking. That's my cat. Smokey! Psst, 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 psst. What are you doing? Sorry about that. She's being difficult because she's a cat, obviously. And that little jingle you hear is actually the bell on her collar. Oh, hello, pretty kitty. Yes, so that's really all I have to say about the art at this moment. When we get later on into it, I'll show you my last thing or two. But yes. What else was I going to talk about? Yeah, my ASD. So, ASD, if you don't know, is, can be referred to as, I don't remember the exact what it stands for, but basically I am on the autistic spectrum, the autism spectrum. I would have had Asperger's if it was still diagnosed as that. But that is what ASD is essentially. And one thing that can come with ASD is basically like hyperfixation, where you will just get really into one specific thing. Well, that's also an ADHD thing, but they work very differently. Like with ADHD, it can be dangerous because you'll get so focused on doing something that you won't do anything else, like eat or drink or go to the bathroom. With ASD, it's basically just like you'll become obsessed with this one particular thing. So for a while, it was Minecraft for me. And then it was Supernatural and, stuff like that. And it'd go on for months at a time. Well, I've discovered that I have what I like to refer to as a mini fixation or a mini special interest, because that's what those are. They're referred to as special interests. And basically what that means is that I can get a small spark or even a big spark of interest in something, be it, like recently my dad was watching the Harry Potter series again, those movies, and I was reminded of just how angry some parts of those movies made me. The way they handled some characters, the way they, especially the like the Slytherins. I hated how they handled the Slytherin kids. But, like, some of the Slytherins' characters specifically, not just as a whole, but certain characters, I feel like could have been handled a lot better, considering what would have actually been happening in their home lives, Because, the Slytherin parents kind of sucked. A lot of them, right? So, I feel like it all could have been handled a lot better. But because of that, and being reminded of that, I have been on a kick recently, so these last 2.5 weeks, I think, where I have looked up so much crap, stories and like fix-it stories, and I read fan fiction, yeah, so what, about Harry Potter and how things could have been done differently and better, and theories and art and YouTube videos, and I've just been watching all of the things. Mini fixation. So, or mini special interest, or whatever you want to call it. Or, the first time I watched the Sides videos, I got really into them, and I spent like a month where the only thing on YouTube that I watched was the series, over and over and over and over again. At this particular moment, I'm kind of backing off of the Harry Potter thing a little bit and getting into Merlin again. I've never watched that show, just kind of like how I've only, like, somewhat watched the movies. Like, I've been there when all of them were playing, but I've never paid attention to the whole thing, because it's really just never caught my interest, right? So, I was going to say, yeah, I've gotten back into Merlin. Again, never going to watch it, never have watched it, but I like the characters, and I like the storyline, and I like the idea, and I love to read people's theories on it, and I like to look at art, and I enjoy the characters, and I enjoy the actors. What are their names? Bradley and Collins, I believe, that portray Merlin and Arthur. I think that they do very well at their jobs. They're very, very, and the chemistry those two have, as whatever you want to see the chemistry as, be it friends or almost brothers or anything more than that, is up to you. But I just think that it's very well done. Kind of like how... Actually, I don't know where I was going with that sentence. But, So... look at that, I'm almost out of time. Well, that sucks. On the topic of the art again, I'm sorry about Deceit's appearance, how his shirt is not right at all. I took a couple good looks at his shirt and decided there was no way I was going to be able to draw that, because I was already having enough trouble convincing myself to draw this as it was. I was so scared of screwing up and hating it. So I wasn't focusing entirely. That's kind of like why the patches on Virgil's jacket are kind of screwed up and stuff like that. I was just afraid of messing up. But, so I decided to back off before I could get to the art for Deceit, or the shirt art, the part, that. Because I was afraid I would get to it and be really upset that it wasn't turning out the right way, and then I'd stop drawing the picture. As an aside, as to that, I also know that they look slightly different than they're portrayed. Virgil is exceptionally pale, and Deceit's kind of more tan. I decided to give them their own unique appearances, because I knew I was never going to be able to make them look exactly the same anyways, and frankly, I wouldn't want to. I like to imagine that, I don't know, in the mindscape, some people think that they look slightly different. I do too. I have to go soon, so... yeah, stay safe. I purple you. I want you to be happy. I do have an Instagram. Feel free to subscribe or comment. I really want a comment on this video. That would be awesome. You don't have to like it or subscribe to me, but I would like a comment. And have a good day.